Eddie McCready's photograph in black and white on the screens around the ground. An excellent servant of Chelsea. Scotland international as well, left back. As we heard there, the announcement as the manager of Chelsea, he gave an 18-year-old Ray Wilkins his debut, but in the 60s and into the 70s, he was a superb servant and one of the best value signings Chelsea have ever made. Signed for £5,000 from East Stirlingshire in 1962 by Tommy Docherty, his first signing. Scored in the League Cup final. I've been reading about it. Eddie McCready, as an emergency centre-forward in the League Cup final in 1965, dribbled 80 yards and shot in the goal that won the first leg past Gordon Banks. And amazingly, there is no video footage remaining of that goal, I'm told. So, Eddie McCready, well remembered. Now, January 2026, it's Chelsea against Arsenal, the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. The referee, Simon Hooper, blows the whistle, and it is the visitors, the Premier League leaders, Arsenal, who get the match, the semi-final underway. Fired downfield for Saka inside the penalty area, who works it across under pressure from Cucurella, but Sanchez was able to go down and gather that quite comfortably, and Saka actually, having got there, very nearly toppled over the advertising hoardings, just managed to grab onto the top of them and prevent himself from doing that. Chelsea, blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks. Arsenal with the first choice colours as well, the red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. And so, Liam Rosenior's first home match is underway as the Chelsea head coach. Couldn't have got off to a much better start, a 5-1 win away from home, albeit against championship opposition at Charlton on Saturday night. But this, obviously, the biggest test yet, Matt Upson.
Yeah, it was a nice game to ease into for Liam Rosenior. This one, a very different animal. But I'm just looking at the ball, John. I mean, that kick there was a little bit misleading. The ball's really zipping off the turf. It's quite a moist, kind of little bit of a sprayy, damp rain coming down, and the pitch is incredibly quick this evening. Yeah,
Gabriel put a challenge in on Guillaume over there on the far side, 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. So it's a free kick to Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez is going to take in from deep. Oh, actually flicks off an Arsenal head, which took it out of play over here on the edge of the area, edge of the D. It was just glanced away out of play for a throw into Chelsea down the left-hand side. So here's Cucurella interaction, was suspended for Chelsea's win in the FA Cup on Saturday night. So back in the team for this one. And he takes the throw. Cucurella gets it back as Chelsea attack towards the shed stand. Pedro Neto looking to cross, and it comes off Ben White and out of play next to the corner flag. It is a corner, so it's going to be a first corner of the match. Quickly to Kenny Crawford at Hearts.
Big development, John. Hearts 0, St Mirren 0, but Hearts down to 10 men. Benny Beningame, one of those players I said like putting a tackle in, has had a red card for a challenge on Roland Oduwu.
Well, quite the development there then. That was 7:45 kickoff, 8 o'clock here at Stamford Bridge. First corner of the match then. Enzo Fernandez takes it into the near post, but it actually, in the end, players converged together at the near post, including Kepa Arrizabalaga, but it had too much whip in swing on it, and it was straight into the outside netting. Goal kick.
Yeah, it's wasted really early on in the game. You don't want to be hitting that into the side net. You want to be sticking it in an area where you can make life uncomfortable for Arsenal. I think Chelsea have to do that this evening. If you allow Arsenal to get into their rhythm, get settled, start to get a grip of the game, they play really good percentage football at times, make good game management decisions. You've got to unsettle Arsenal. Chelsea have to put good balls into the box.
Ball out of play for an Arsenal throw halfway inside their own half. Are you seeing Arsenal as favourites, big favourites, narrow favourites for the tie, or not?
I think you have to say they're favourites. I'll go with just the favourites.
Just favourites.
Not big, not small, just favourites. You have to, really. And I think overall, it does look like City, doesn't it, after the first leg? But that would be a really interesting final.
Yes, it would. As Arsenal, who have lost their last 4 semi-finals, play the ball forward. In fact, under Mikel Arteta, they've lost all 4 two-legged semi-finals that they've played. So there's a little bit of pressure there. A bit of a barrier to break through for Arsenal. Another barrier for Arsenal to break through.
I mean, the Newcastle one last season was quite strange. They were in a decent vein of form at the time, Arsenal, weren't they? And Newcastle just I do remember the games, and Arsenal did have a lot of chances, didn't they? Couldn't quite finish it off, and Newcastle took advantage.
Ball bounces back for Sanchez, who's able to gather it on the edge of the penalty area. Yes, those 4 semi-finals, the last 4, Arsenal have lost to Luis Enrique's Paris Saint-Germain, Eddie Howe's Newcastle, as Matt says, the 2-0 semi-final this time last year, Klopp's Liverpool in the League Cup, and Unai Emery's Villarreal in the Europa League. So they've all been tough tests, but you would expect that in a semi-final. As the ball goes back to Sanchez, who hits it downfield, looking for Guiu, who is tangling with Gabriel. That was like 2 holds in a submission, wasn't it? The two of them at each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big decision from Gabriel, actually. The ball skipped off the turf. They'd left him 1v1 with Guiu. And it was really dominant play from the Arsenal centre-back. He kind of came from the position behind him, round the side, and stepped in front and dealt with the ball, and then Guiu grabbed hold of him. A little bit of a wrestle, but I'll say it again, that bounce, John, off the turf, I don't know, it's like a skip off this Chelsea pitch. It looks really lively. The ball's in the air and going through. It's really going to run on and maybe catch someone out this evening.
Here's Trossard, pass fit for the game. Ball won back. It's played forward for the run of Timber down the left-hand side. Quite unusually this season, Timber. Lewis Skelly on the bench. There's no Hincapié. And with Timber on the left-hand side, Arsenal have won a free kick level with the edge of their own penalty area. So Chelsea having to defend. The only semi-final that Arsenal have won under Mikel Arteta was against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City back in 2020 in the FA Cup semi-final, when Arsenal won the trophy in his first few months in the job. Throw-in is taken. Timber slides into the challenge and actually seems to have caught the Chelsea player down there. And the ball's behind it. He's given us an Arsenal corner, but it is just a Chalobah, I think, who put in the challenge as he gets up. See that telltale plaster or bandage or whatever it is around his right hand, right wrist. But he's all right, he's okay, doesn't need treatment. So first corner for Chelsea to face.
First big test. And I can almost guarantee where this ball's going. I think they're going a similar place, but they're so hard to defend from Declan Rice's in-swinging right foot.
Yep, Declan Rice, 27 today. Right-footed corner. In it goes towards the back post. And it goes to Sanchez, wasn't there, and it's headed down and in. Sanchez missed it completely. Came for it, groping at mid-air, and it's headed down and bounced so easily into the back of the net. And Arsenal score yet again from a corner, and it's taken them less than 7 minutes to take the lead in this FA Cup semi-final. Arsenal players, 3 or 4 of them, all converged together, and in the end, headed down into the ground, it bounced up, and it's Ben White who is the goal scorer. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1.
Too many Chelsea players static, not moving. If you want to stand still against a set-piece delivery from Declan Rice when Arsenal are attacking it, I just think you're in big trouble. And Sanchez, I don't know quite where he's going, but he has gone fishing for that ball. He's waving his right hand in the air, trying to punch it, misses it completely. And I think the other Chelsea defenders are just a little bit stunned. Nobody really reacts or moves. And it almost just kind of lands on Ben White's head, if I'm honest. He's in the right place at the right time. He's probably 3 yards out, and he just nods it down. There's a VAR check going on.
But offside? So I think the question is whether Gyökeres might be in the way on the goal line. Yeah. They've wasted no time whatsoever at saying, nope, absolutely, we've had a look at that.
It's absolutely fine.
And I what do you think? I mean, Gyökeres is on the goal line, and he actually has to sort of lean back to avoid getting a touch on it.
Well, based on yesterday, he's interfering with play as much as what happened yesterday with Haaland, to be honest, but very similar instance actually, behind the goalkeeper right on the line, but
behind a defender.
Behind the defender, but soon dismissed by VAR. Saw that and thought, no, not interfering at all, and it's the right call. In
actual fact, had it been the goalkeeper, had it been Sanchez and Gyökeres was there with the goalkeeper, as opposed to a defender, might have made a difference. You're not convinced by that?
It is a slightly different decision, but you have to weigh into the fact that is he stopping him from making the... I don't think anyone saves that, do they? You're 2 yards out, you can't
Well, certainly not a defender.
You can't save it.
A defender is not going to clear that.
No. And the only way a goalkeeper saves it if it just hits him. So,
I mean,
yeah.
that was far too easy. That's a terrible start here at Stamford Bridge, really, for Liam Rosenior and his team, as the ball stabbed forward by Declan Rice. He was looking for the run there as well from Trossard, but he just didn't get the pass quite right, Declan Rice. Otherwise, Trossard would have been in.
Yeah. Now, they've really got to take responsibility here, Chelsea. It's not an easy start to this game. We know how good... Oh, that's a bad pass as well.
Pass along the edge of the penalty area, and Andres Santos just got there and was able to withstand the challenge that came in on him and come out with the ball. And Chelsea were able to bring it away.
It's Fofana with the pass, though, wasn't it? Really loose from the edge of the box. Tries to fire it into Santos, but literally, Arsenal, all three midfielders are on the full press all the way in. What's Santos going to do with that ball, John? You know, you've got Declan Rice or Odegaard breathing down your neck, heading towards the D of your own 18-yard box. You don't want the ball there. Surely just spin the ball forwards and get up the pitch a little bit.
So Arsenal leading, scoring from a corner. A different scorer this time, though, an unexpected source, although he's not seen a great deal of football this season, Ben White, until recent weeks. But he's there, not scored since the season before last, had lots of injuries, you might remember, last season. 4 goals the season before last, but this is his first one in 2 seasons. And it could hardly have been simpler. As you said, Matt, just landed on his head, probably, 6-7 yards out, headed it down at the ground, bounced up into the net. There we are, thank you very much.
Unopposed. Chelsea were static, expecting Sanchez to get a touch on it. He missed it. It was a disastrous goal, really, to concede against a team that you know it's coming, John. Do you know what I mean? If anything, your senses should be heightened in that situation.
Here's Esteban through the middle for Chelsea, but 2 Arsenal players, Trossard and Zubimendi, either side of him, just squeezed in on him, and it all came to nothing. And it's back with Kepa Arrizabalaga. So Arsenal now, Matt, strong favourites in the tie.
Have we crept up a notch?
I think we've
gone up a level from just favourites to strong.
Yeah, I think quite possibly.
Yeah, I'd take that.
As the ball bounces infield, double deflection. Enzo Fernandez, right foot shot. Oh, straight at Kepa Arrizabalaga from just central area in the D. He was looking to the top corner, wasn't he, to whip it in there. And in the end, the shot was straight into the chest of Kepa.
It looked like he lost a bit of momentum trying to get it too heavily onto his right foot there, Enzo. Just maybe could have hit it a little bit more straighter on, but he really tried to open his body up and, like you said, John, whip it top corner, whereas maybe hit it a bit straighter with the laces and get a cleaner hit and a bit more power. It was comfortable for Kepa.
2 matches in the Premiership in Scotland are 15 minutes ahead of us. Big matches both. We've heard Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. Hearts down to 10 men. What about Celtic at Falkirk? Martin Dowden.
Falkirk 0, Celtic 0, but a superb chance for Falkirk. Terrell Wilson, brilliant run down the right hand side. He cut across the box, cut across Kasper Schmeichel, and with the goal gaping, he somehow skewed wide. Still goalless here.
Thank you, Martin. And back to Kenny Crawford again at Tynecastle.
24 minutes gone, Hearts 0, St Mirren 0, the 10-man of Hearts 0, but Hearts just had a great chance. Claudio Braga, who scored the winner against Dundee on Sunday, scooping over the bar when well placed. Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. Acheampong
down the right-hand side, pulled the ball back to Pedro Neto, who was 23 yards out. He hit the shot, but it was blocked by Arsenal on the edge of the penalty area. Still Nigeria 0, Morocco 0 in the second of the Africa Cup semi-finals. Chelsea, Joao Pedro, back to Enzo Fernandez, 25 yards out. Then moved on by Andre Santos, out to Acheampong. Acheampong into the area to Esteban. Esteban to Enzo Fernandez. He missed his touch on it, ran away from him. Bukayo Saka was able to play it downfield, but just gives possession back to Chelsea. Matthew Upson.
That's much better from Chelsea, though. Bit of punch to the play, getting it wide, getting at Arsenal. I'm a bit concerned when they have the ball in and around Sanchez in their own 18-yard box. They're playing some dangerous passes, Chelsea, and Rice, Odegaard and Zubimendi, they are going all the way in every time. Odegaard really sets the tone with that Arsenal press. They've got to be careful passing into midfield from the edge of your own box there.
So Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal opening the scoring in the 7th minute of the tie. Long way to go, but remember, Arsenal are unbeaten at the Emirates this season in all competitions, the Premier League leaders. and Arsenal with the ball in the central third.
That out possession from Trossard there was brilliant, and we talked about him before the game. What's he doing differently to get himself in the starting lineup? It's that he harassed Chalobah there, didn't allow him the ball, won it back. Chalobah then nicked it back, then he came back again and won it, and Arsenal now have the ball. And it's that little thing that Trossard's brought to his game. Is so good.
Yeah, he's been excellent. And today with Timber behind him, as I say, no Hincapié, Calafiori as well out with an injury at the moment. But obviously Arsenal very pleased to have Saliba back alongside Gabriel. All the eyes, of course, from the corner were drawn to those two, Saliba and Gabriel, but this time it was Ben White who was the one to get to his head to it. Ball played forward up the right hand side by Saliba, then infield by Zubamendi on the edge of the penalty area, twisting, Gyökeres, left foot shot across the goal, but bouncing across via, I think, a deflection. Saka was trying to get in there. Yes, it was, says referee Hooper, and it's a corner to Arsenal from the right.
Lovely ball, just straight forward, fed down the right hand channel from Saliba, gets it out of his feet, curls it down the line, and the space is all down that right hand side. It's then squared, and I think Gyökeres can hit this first time on his left foot. He takes it, he spins out, and for me, if he's in confident form, he's instinctive, and he just swivels and hits it early with his left. Instead he checks, comes back onto the left, and then it's a tighter angle. Give Chelsea a bit more time to settle, but I'd like to see him be more instinctive there.
Right, Chelsea, you can almost feel the nervous apprehension in the home stands, having already conceded from Arsenal's first corner. This time it's the other guy, Saka, on the right hand side with his delivery to the back post. Sanchez comes, just pushes it away, and the whistle goes, and Sanchez down on the ground, jumped to his feet, big orange gloves, palms apart to the referee, claiming that he was fouled there. Got the free kick.
He tried to catch it, didn't he? Not sure if that's a catch moment, John, with them kind of bodies. I mean, he did win the foul and he was impeded, so I suppose it is justified, but when these balls come in from either side, they're pretty hard to deal with. Arsenal get bodies in, and they perform just enough contact not to give a foul. On that occasion was a foul, but on the whole they get that balance just about right of unsettling you but not giving away free kicks.
Well, your old England goalkeeper colleague Rob Green is with us on 5 Live Sport tonight following the match from afar. I think his in-tray for half-time is already bulging.
Yeah.
Given away by Sanchez. Rice stepped in. Rice now dances away from the challenge. Still got it. Santos Estevao slips over as he tried to challenge Rice. Then Trossard goes through the challenge of Santos, takes it onto the dead ball line. Santos has been able to recover, and then gives it back to Timber. Now Rice, Timber, Trossard all together on the left-hand side. Rice, jet black hair, chest puffed out, spins out towards the far side, exchanges passes with Gabriel, then Rice, sure-footed pass to Saliba in the centre circle, comes back to the right-hand side now to Saka. Cucurella gets close. That's always a good contest, isn't it? The two of them just bumping together, Cucurella and Saka, once the ball had gone. Saka again gets rid of it, gets it back from Odegaard. Cucurella comes in close again, sort of half side on. Cucurella crouching down, hair flying in front of Saka.
You can't take your eyes off that little duel, can you? When it goes out to Saka, his distance is Cucurella. That's why he's got the better of him in the duels recently for me. His distances have been spot on. He hasn't given him any space to get his head up and even think about what he's doing. He's on him so quickly.
Let's see what's happening in the Africa Cup of Nations semi-final. Senegal already into the final today, but Lee James is watching Nigeria-Morocco in Rabat.
It's goalless here in Rabat in this raucous atmosphere, John. Brahim Diaz of Real Madrid with the best chance for the host, cutting inside and curling his left foot shot just wide of the post. Ademola Lookman has had a shot saved by Bono in the Moroccan goal, but we played 18 minutes. It's still Nigeria 0, Morocco 0.
Yeah, Morocco, the hosts, obviously, and Senegal going through with a late goal. Sadio Mane scoring the late goal for Senegal against Mo Salah's Egypt. So it'll be Senegal in the final, and Mo Salah and Egypt will play in the semi-final in Casablanca. So he won't be coming back just yet. There is still a third-place playoff to play in Casablanca. Casablanca was on over Christmas. A great film.
Did you watch it?
I didn't. I was working that day. Otherwise, but I suppose it'll be on the surely on the iPlayer, won't it?
Ben Hur was on as well.
Ben Hur, was
Yeah,
it?
Always got to watch that one.
I'm more of a Casablanca man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, very much so. Great film. Here, Arsenal, Trossard, who just seemed to be caught there, went spiralling down. Referee Hooper has said, nope, play on. And Estevao brought it away and gives it out towards the right-hand side. João Pedro waits and waits, and then a left-footed ball looking for Neto, but over Neto's head and bouncing through for a goal kick, and it comes to nothing for Chelsea. And let's have a look down there, Matt. Liam Rossigna comes out, all gesticulations, orders being barked. I said he was all in black, apart from absolutely bright white trainers.
They are spanking, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. He has got a new pair of those, hasn't he, Phil?
Yeah, they're fresh, out of the box.
In the grand Tony Pulis tradition. Hello, Tony, if you're listening. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. And Arsenal with the goal kick downfield. Arsenal, the intention is for them, the target, to get into a cup final, believe it or not, for the first time for 6 years. That FA Cup final was Arsenal's last cup final.
Yep. It's incredible, really, to be honest, given how they've built, because it's been a steady build, hasn't it? So they should have progressed further in those competitions for me 1 or 2 times, and just always not quite done it.
Ball deflected by João Pedro, out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal, and he protests about it, even though from up here we could see absolutely clearly the final touch was off João Pedro, and he knew it. And then he is challenged by a combination of Saka and Saliba and wins a free kick.
I know he's done it before, but I actually thought Arteta was going to step onto the pitch there and make a tackle. He was that close to the play. If they run a foot outside the line in order to go around someone, he's going to collide with them. I mean, it is a tight technical area down here at Stamford Bridge, isn't it, in comparison, but he's right on the edge all the time.
Were we doing the match together when he actually stepped onto the pitch and touched the ball?
Picked the ball up.
Where was that?
Can
you remember?
I can't remember where it was.
As the ball bounces back to Chelsea on the halfway line. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. 5 Live, which you can listen to, of course, the live radio via the BBC Sounds app. Pause, rewind, listen again, and if you're at Macclesfield on Saturday, you can go back and listen to it all again. Neto, excellent, past White, down the left-hand side, ball into the edge of the penalty area, but Rice got there first, comfortably, trying to cut it back. There's Achimpong arriving on the edge of the area, but Rice easily and comfortably there first, and now we've got 2 balls on the pitch.
But that is what you want to see from Pedro Neto. We spoke before the game, didn't we, about how we miss seeing him see that space in behind the fullback, either knock it, run round him like he did there. Ben White was just left stranded, and when he's on the move, he's so hard to stop.
Achimpong's still in a really advanced position, Matt.
Yeah.
Ball sprayed out to Estevao, trying to weave some magic there. 2 challenges coming on him. Excellent defending from Arsenal again. Fernandes, his pass was behind João Pedro, and as a result, stretching and controlling it, he gave it back to Arsenal. Saka now downfield to Gyökeres, but Gyökeres is beaten to it by Chalobah, although he's been able actually to collect possession again on the right wing, Gyökeres, and then play it back, and Arsenal start again from inside their own half. 1-0 they lead through Ben White's headed goal.
And they're the moments where I think Gyökeres really needs to take advantage when there's a break like that and there's space in behind. That's his moment to shine for me. He's got to make a little bit more of those opportunities.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. Here's Odegaard now, stepping forward, passing it to Saka, who passes it around the arriving Cucurella to Ben White, but Arsenal find themselves back on the halfway line. Gabriel now to Trossard, and then up it goes towards Timber in a very advanced position. Odegaard now is tackled by Enzo Fernandez. Clever from Odegaard there. He certainly made that look. I mean, there may well have been contact, but he made it look perhaps worse than it was, and gets the free kick.
Yeah, just felt it. You see it so often, don't you, when players feel that contact, and if it's enough just to bump them, the legs go from underneath them, and it does look like a foul. It's a bit clumsy, I'd say, from Enzo to give that away there in this situation with how Arsenal are at set pieces. I mean, it is shooting range, John, really, and it's got a nice angle to it. That may well be the option here, but you just feel there's going to be a little set piece plan coming from Arsenal here.
You do, yes.
There's normally a set piece coach jumping about in the technical area at the moment, which there is.
Nicolas Jauvert is there in position with his coat on. It's actually Odegaard who plays it in. It's deflected. Ooh. And then the shot from Zubamendi. As it bounced up, he actually snatched at it and hit it quite high, probably waist high, and as a result couldn't keep it down and shot over the crossbar.
Yeah, I think they're the kind of percentage situations that Arsenal do react well on. It's almost like they're sniffing and hunting for that little loose ball that pops out like that one does, and then getting on there. They don't care how they score. It can be scruffy, it can be glamorous. Either way is fine with them. And this one just pops up and doesn't come down enough for Zubamendi. He's always rising over the crossbar.
Back to Tynecastle, the league leaders against the League Cup winners, Kenny Crawford.
37 minutes gone, 10-man Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. It's been an eventful night for Roland Udowu, the St Mirren player. He was in the end of the tackle that saw Beningame sent off, and then since then the former Shrewsbury forward has had the ball in the back of the net twice. Both have been ruled out immediately by offside. Hearts 0, St Mirren 0.
Thank you, Kenny. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1, the second leg. Like last night, in 3 weeks' time, this will be the match on the Tuesday night, and then Manchester City Newcastle on the Wednesday. Very difficult, isn't it, to see an argument for Newcastle coming through that, as Enzo Fernandez wriggles away from Odegaard, still halfway inside his own half, carrying the ball and carrying it forward and then passing it out to the right-hand side. Andres Santos is there, who played for Liam Rosenior at Strasbourg last season. That's a handy turn of events, isn't it? And did well as well in that season for Strasbourg when they finished 7th in the French league. For De Guiu, and now Estevao with a nice pass out towards the right-hand side, looks offside, shot from Achimpong, but the offside flag then goes up, even though it was saved by Kepa Arrizabalaga, who got both hands, pushed it round the top corner. Free kick, offside.
Yeah, a couple of times Chelsea have gone out to the right, and there's been a fair bit of space, hasn't there, for whether it's Achimpong or Estevao hugging that touchline. More than often not, it's been Achimpong, hasn't it? He's had a licence to really get forward from the right-back position in this first half, and that's, either flank, they're capable of Chelsea. They're just not finding that final ball into the box once they get in those good positions. I'm not feeling, John, that they're really going to find that pass or finish to trouble Kepa.
Yes, Achimpong, the 19-year-old, playing as right back again in the absence of Gusto. There's a pass from the Arsenal right back position from White that goes all the way through to Sanchez, and he quickly gives it out. Our colleague John Southall has had a little look. It was Inter. It was the San Siro where Mikel Arteta,
that's right,
couldn't resist.
I remember, yeah.
Bending down and
it had enough of being snubbed out by a stubborn Inter defensive performance for.
They lost to an unfortunate penalty, didn't they?
Terrible penalty.
Mikel Merino.
Ridiculous European handball decision, wasn't it?
Here's João Pedro, he's away from Zubamendi. João Pedro does well. Little ball into the area to Guiu, who passes it back out to Estevao, then hit with some pace into Guiu. He did very well to control that, the pass from Santos. Now Fernandez out to the right-hand side. Neto is there for the time being. Back to Enzo Fernandez, slips it into the air. João Pedro shoots from the angle all the way across the 6-yard box. Nobody there in a blue shirt. Arsenal players, 3 of them in their own 6-yard area, just very daintily, all 3 of them managed to get out of the way of it and allow it to run across for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good build-up play. They do open Arsenal up. The ball is squared across brilliantly to the far post, and there's probably 2. Cucurella's one of them, who's just on his heels in the box. I think this is, when you speak to Chelsea fans, this is the kind of thing that they're getting a bit frustrated with. They've not got that edge, that desire to want to get in the box where it hurts and stick the ball in the back of the net. And that was a prime example of good play, creating an opportunity but just not taking it.
Opening goal at Falkirk, Martin Dowden.
Breakthrough for Celtic. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Very simple. Corner swung into the back post, and there was Benjamin Negrin with a close range header. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
Arsenal on the attack, ball across to Saka, edge of the D, holding off Cucurella in every sense, literally holding him off, and then finding the pass to White. Odegaard curls it in, headed down and away by Chalobah, but Arsenal take possession again with Zubamendi, and they start again in the centre circle. Arsenal building again with the ball on the left-hand side. Trossard plays it into Estevao. Saliba is able to arrive and head it up and over there to Trossard, who's off on a run now down the left wing. Estevao comes in on the challenge and I think just got a nick on the ball. Still though Arsenal. Oh, brilliant play from Timber. Trossard, oh superb. Oh no, then the challenge comes in on him and blocks it behind. That was brilliant play by Arsenal. Absolutely top class. Oh, it had everything but the finish.
That was superb. And it had a top tackle at the end. I don't know what Chelsea player came across. I was too busy marvelling at the football from Arsenal, which was superb. The interchange, the way Trossard gets back up from being fouled, slips the ball inside. The footwork from Timber just to check. Then Trossard skips past one tackle inside. You think he's going to get his shot off. And then it might be Enzo, actually, that just comes across with a run from midfield to put in a brilliant challenge. And it's corner Arsenal, which this is exactly the same as Declan Rice in the first one.
Watch out, Chelsea. Another corner, in it goes. And Sanchez is able to catch this. Backpedaling along the goal line. Players gathered behind him, but caught it securely this time.
Much better. Read the flight, was dominant, got two hands on it, really good catch at the back post area.
And that's what he's tried to do for all three corners.
Yeah.
So that's clearly how Chelsea have decided that they are going to deal with these dangerous Arsenal corners.
Yeah, but
got off to a terrible start.
No, you have to. They're also, in the moment, aren't they? You can have a plan, but once that ball comes in, you don't know what's happening, the flight of it, who's going to come in and bump you. You're constantly adapting to that, which makes it so tricky for goalkeepers.
But for the goal, the opening goal, I mean, he was. I don't think he was close to it. Here come up Chelsea again with a shot from the angle from excellent work from Estevao, dancing into the penalty area. Fierce shot, left-footed, and it took a good parry from Kepa to keep it out and push it around the post.
This game's opening up lovely, really is. Two good chances, lovely quick wing play, cuts inside left foot, goes high into the near post. It's a sharp save from Kepa.
So corner at the other end now to Chelsea. Left-footed into the 6-yard box. Gabriel could have made an excellent header away in front of his goalkeeper. Cucurella heads it back in and the whistle goes. It bounced all the way through actually to Kepa. Arsenal man down. Kepa actually takes the kicks the ball downfield, even though the whistle had gone. And Simon Hooper actually calls across the Arsenal goalkeeper and says, I know what your game is. There's an Arsenal man there, he's just belted the ball away downfield. They're winning 1-0 and already Arsenal are managing the game.
It's a bit cynical, John. I thought he just wanted a quick break there. Saw Gyökeres 1v1 with Cucurella. You could look at it that way.
You could. I'm satisfied with how I looked at it.
Okay. I think that's what Kepa was saying to Simon Hooper, though.
Half-time at Falkirk. Martin Dowden.
The half-time Falkirk 0, Celtic 1. Negrin with that crucial close-range header just before half-time. Far from the full story here. Falkirk really impressive, missed a number of chances, but a goal at a great time as Celtic won up at the interval.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. Will be at Hearts once it's half-time there. Had some tight matches recently, Hearts, as Gyökeres and Cucurella together. Ball is touched out of play. Final touch was off the Arsenal striker, Victor Gyökeres. Just the 7 goals so far this season, Gyökeres, after his incredible 54-goal season last season with Sporting. Chelsea breakaway, and then João Pedro actually hits it straight into the back of Trossard, who gets the ball back and is going to play it back to his goalkeeper, Kepa.
Arsenal have really commit the whole team over this near side of the pitch every single time they're pressing, which is fine. But then if Chelsea get that 1 or 2 passes off and get into the middle of the pitch just like that, it's been on about 3 or 4 times to really spread the play out to the right-hand side. And Timber's so narrow, it's not really holding that left-hand side at all at the back. There's chances there for Chelsea.
That's the voice of Matthew Upson, England defender, former Arsenal defender. We'll hear from Rob Green again at half-time on 5 Live Sport, who's watching this one from afar, as Arsenal with Saliba, long pass forward. Cucurella is able to head that away back into the Arsenal half. Andres Santos turns Trossard, but Rice is there behind him, and Rice passes it to Odegaard. It could open up here for Odegaard as he was closed down by Estevao. However, gives it to Timber in the penalty area, plays it back on the right foot, square from Zubamendi. Trossard in the D, Trossard gets it back and shoots, but it dips away over the top of the crossbar and into the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand. Goal kick, Chelsea.
Well, there's a couple of near moments there for Arsenal, 2 or 3 options. I mean, surprisingly, Odegaard really delays the initial pass for me. Takes it one touch too many, which you don't normally see that with Martin Odegaard. He's so quick to see it. But I tell you what, John, when Timber's in the box and he's facing a defender up, he looks like a winger, doesn't he? Like he's got that little skip of a Madueke, the way he shifts the ball and moves his feet. Maybe not quite the shot at the end of it, but really sharp in the opposition box, Jurrien Timber.
For all of the very good players Arsenal have got, and the form players, and there's certainly some competition, of the matches I've seen, he'd get my vote so far as Arsenal's player of the season.
Really? Yeah.
I think he's been outstanding.
He has. I wouldn't massively argue with that, to be honest. I agree. He looks in tip-top physical form, doesn't he? Like he's shifted direction and ability to react. Any 1v1 situation, it's a real plus in that position.
Just down on our screen, I see there was a graphic put up just in front of us here which said the fewest touches in the match so far, Gyökeres. And that's been an issue, hasn't it? His involvement in the matches. Here's Saka. His figures in that regard are not good.
I don't think they use him as a bounce ball. You know, like centre forwards, I know his threat is in behind and into the spaces, but every now and then you've got to come and show short like he just has done now, pops it off, but it's not in a dangerous area of the pitch.
No.
For me, more centrally to play that role would help the likes of Saka and Trossard and Odegaard a bit more.
And actually the point is, with a centre forward as well, look at Haaland, for example. Very often he has very few touches.
Last night was a classic example, barely had a kick.
But when it comes to actually the number of goals, then that makes the difference. I think it's quite a thing, you know. We're talking about Chelsea and Arsenal here. We're well into January. Neither of these teams has a player who has reached double figures for goals yet this season in all competitions. 1-0 on the night, goal scored by a defender, Ben White. Here's Estevao now. Estevao, who's already gone close quite once. Rice coming across, forcing him out there on the right wing, still going together, and he's been joined there by Trossard. Still Estevao weaving his magic and then turning, and the ball runs out of play. He's saying that it took a touch off Trossard. I think the officials, they've given a goal kick. And Estevao has walked across to the assistant on the far side, Simon Long, and has spoken to him from very close range. And they've agreed to disagree.
He actually bamboozled me there, John. I don't know how he stayed on his feet, to be honest. He's twisting, turning. He's going to be sucking the oxygen in now, because that was a hefty individual effort. And he's got to get back in position, and he's got nothing to show for it. But what an exciting talent he is.
Yes. Half-time now at Tynecastle. Kenny Crawford.
Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. The hosts have been playing since the 15th minute with 10 men after Benny Beningami's red card. Since then, Roland Dodoru's had the ball in the net twice for St Mirren, both disallowed for offside, and Alexandros Kazaridis for Hearts has missed a brilliant one-on-one. It was saved by Shamal George. All action here, Hearts having their title credentials well and truly tested. Hearts 0, St Mirren 0.
Ball played forward for Arsenal. It's actually Zubamendi who was chasing onto it, but Fofana came across. At the same time they came together, and Fofana's touch has taken it behind for an Arsenal corner with, what have we got, 7 minutes of the first half to play.
Yeah, big moment this. It really is. Zubamendi was the one making the run from deep. He actually tackled Fofana, didn't he, for the ball, and won the ricochet. It was a nice ball. They've mixed it up quite well, Arsenal. They've played short, but then when it's on, they're not shy to just spin it into the space behind for a runner from deep.
Right, let's see what Robert Sanchez does here. As Arsenal crowd him. They are really crowding him. And the Chelsea goalkeeper, as it comes into the near post, Chalobah gets up and heads it away. I mean, the Arsenal player all over Sanchez there. One of them ended up in the back of the net. Unfortunately for Chelsea, it didn't get past Chalobah, who was able to, unchallenged, head it away to comparative safety. It comes in from Odegaard, headed well wide by Gyökeres. He was stretching for it, in fairness to him, and got ahead to it. Might have let it go, but in the end it just bounced way wide of the goal and behind.
I don't think it was on to try and head it. It was almost adjust and chest it down, or try and get a hold of the ball possibly, but that Declan Rice in-swinger from the far corner there is causing some serious problems.
It is, and Chelsea Santos slipped when he played the ball. It's a throw in, but Arsenal tried to take it quickly, but referee Hooper says they've taken it from the wrong place.
I haven't checked, but I assume statistically they're more of a threat scoring-wise from the Rice corner than the Saka one. I wouldn't know. I haven't looked at that, but it just feels that way,
and
John.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Although we've seen them score a few from Saka corners as well.
Yeah, we have, but the Rice one just seems to cause a little bit more.
Yep. It is a terrific weapon for Arsenal to have. Throw in then, which in the end is actually being taken from more or less where Arsenal took it from. In it comes, cleared away, Joao Pedro, and referee Hooper said, no, you've taken it from the wrong place. Saliba gets it back on the corner of the box. Saliba now, he's going to shoot. Oh, it's just over the bar. Wow, it landed on the roof of the net as it made its way over. That was a close thing for a second Arsenal goal.
Yeah, I haven't seen a replay of that, but I know it was close, and I can tell you because Robert Sanchez threw everything at that ball. He went all the way across. That orange glove was at full stretch trying to touch the ball because this was very, very close. Lovely footwork onto his right foot. Saliba tries to just bend it to the far post top corner with a bit of power and just over the crossbar.
Odegaard does well under pressure, flicks the ball down the line. White's chasing it. Joao Pedro's back there, he turns it away, and Cucurella, a little touch down the line, and Neto is adjudged to have been fouled, grappled with by Zubamendi, and Chelsea have a free kick and go back to the edge of the area. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal, who failed to score in their last 2 League Cup semi-finals, the 4 matches. Indeed, in those 4 semi-finals, the last 4 semi-finals that they've lost, in 8 matches, they managed to score only 2 goals. So 1-0 up is a dramatic improvement. Chelsea still with the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Chelsea 6 times winners of this competition, not since 2017. Arsenal, one of the surprising facts about their roll of honour is that they've only won the League Cup twice in their history, Arsenal. Here's Neto infield, scampering after it, still going. Saka trying to chase him, actually dribbles around the referee and then passes it straight at Trossard. Simon Hooper found himself in the wrong place there, and Neto, in going round him, probably ended up rather awkwardly. Fofana playing it back to Sanchez, who had to very quickly just clear it away from near the penalty spot. And then action point is pulled back by Trossard as he made his way over the halfway line. And I think Estevao might have said something to the referee. I think he's been yellow carded because Estevao at the time it was the old imaginary.
He just didn't need to do that. I mean, it was a absolute stonewall yellow card, wasn't it? Yeah. Simon Hooper reaching for the pocket already, and Estevao comes over and brandishes the hand as if to say book him. It's crazy.
There's nothing more. I mean, he did book Trossard, didn't he?
Yeah, right in. It wasn't even from distance, John. It was literally right in. As he's holding the yellow card, booking him, he signals for the yellow card straight in his face. I mean, he can't. And he kept it out and went, "You can have it as well."
And then he actually said, "What, me?" Free kick, Chelsea to the edge of the penalty area, comes out to Estevao. Estevao's very, very crowded. He's able to play it to Neto. Neto's left-footed ball under the head of Zubamendi, who is able to head it away, and Chelsea take up possession again inside their own half. Nearing half-time here in London, also nearing half-time in faraway Rabat, Lee James.
And nearing half-time with it still goalless here. Morocco on top, though, to the delight of the home fans. Calvin Bassey of Fulham harshly booked for catching Brahim Diaz in the face with a trailing arm. It means he'll miss the final through suspension if Nigeria get there. From the resulting free kick, Hakimi hit the top of the net. It's Nigeria 0, Morocco 0.
And here at Stamford Bridge, yellow card for Cucurella. That could be significant in the match. That contest, Saka against Cucurella. Saka cutting in field, fouled by Cucurella, and a yellow card for the Chelsea left back. I did wonder today whether there would be a carryover from the league match here in November. Remember the the 1-1 draw when Caicedo was sent off before half-time, and there were also 7 yellow cards as well as the red. Well, that hadn't been the case, but now Cucurella yellow carded.
Yeah, maybe it is significant because, he can't afford that. But I'm looking at Saka. I think he's made that yellow card count, John, because he's limping off. Left ankle he catches. Saka gets to the ball first, toes it away. It's that classic one where you're planted in the turf and the tackle then comes in and catches him. Hopefully he can shrug it off. He's used to getting kicked. I mean, he doesn't half take a few whacks, Bukayo Saka, and he manages just to shrug them off and carry on.
Yes, he's okay. Free kick, Rice is going to play it in, but it's headed down and away on the edge of the area. It finds its way back to Saka now, up against Cucurella, who stands a little further off this time, and Saka whacks it into the midriff of Cucurella, and it skids away behind for a corner to Arsenal from the right. So we're going to see one of those Saka corners now from the right. He's agreed a new contract, we have reported at the BBC last week. I don't think it's been announced by Arsenal yet, but 24 years old, and it'll be, that will take him to around about 30, you would have thought, wouldn't you?
Great for the player, great for the club.
Yeah, the highly popular Bukayo Saka. Corner then, little steps, then played into the near post, but headed away at the near post for Chelsea, but at the same time near the penalty spot. Trossard and Enzo Fernandez both ended up on the ground, so a free kick was given Chelsea's way.
Good game, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Really enjoyable. Not, no real lulls at all. There's always something happening. Incident, tackles. It's been really hard fought. An intensity about it that, I agree, has kind of followed over from the November meeting.
I think he's given that. I noticed Enzo Fernandez and Trossard ended up on the ground, but I think he's given that for a foul potentially on Cucurella. Look, Cucurella seemed to have his arms all around the Arsenal player on the 6-yard box. He was virtually tickling him under the arms.
Well, VAR would have checked it, John.
They would.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I think after yesterday, I think there's one certainty here tonight, that we will not see a lengthy VAR judgment.
No.
I think it's been made very clear today as Cucurella heads it away, and then Rice heads it forward, comes down to Trossard. Referee's blown his whistle for half-time, and that's it. And it has been enjoyable, hasn't it, the first leg? Arsenal leading through the goal from the corner in the 7th minute. Sanchez coming, getting nowhere near it, and Ben White, 6 yards out or thereabouts, heading it down into the ground as easy as can be. But what have you made of the first 45 minutes at Stamford Bridge for Liam Rosenior's Chelsea?
Well, I haven't taken my eyes off it, John, to be honest. I think it's been really well fought by both sets of players. Chelsea just having a little interesting gathering.
Well, they did this at Manchester City when I was there in Callum McFarlane's first match in charge, and that was very much Reece James organised.
Yeah.
That he got the players together on the pitch
at half-time.
At half-time before they came off the field, so it's obviously become a bit of a Chelsea thing.
A thing, yeah. So, I thought they reacted pretty well after going behind. It was poor defending from the corner, bit static, not on the move against, a team that what's coming, John. And Arsenal seem to be able to keep doing this to teams time after time. The delivery's great, they attack it, but it lands on Ben White's head. So I think they reacted pretty well. They had a couple of flurries themselves. Estevao looks really bright. Neto got in behind once, but just that final piece of cutting edge doesn't quite seem to be in the Chelsea team at the moment.
No, with Delap missing the match tonight, injured, unwell. At half-time, it is Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1 in the first leg.
Rob Green, I sort of feel bad that the last thing before kick-off was to ask you about Robert Sanchez now, but look, that's not necessarily like him. It was a pretty bad one though, wasn't it?
Yeah, he looks to come for balls. He looks to come for everything. He looks to be proactive, and you can't, that's a positive. He just gets this on wrong, and it's interesting that it is the first corner of the game, I think. And what Arsenal do really well, and Matt touched on it, is have the presence there of the players, but don't actually make contact with him. And so when you're looking at the ball, you don't know where those players are. When you get too close to the keeper too early, he knows where you are, you know where they are, and you can pick a path almost around them. he just goes straight into 2 Arsenal players, 2 Chelsea players, which forms a barrier that he can't get to the ball. So Robert Sanchez a little bit squared up, unaware of what was behind him, and therefore it left him just flailing, really, and it looks really bad. João Pedro's marking Ben White, but does nothing, and it just leaves him with a free header. So it's really disappointing start for Chelsea and a dream one for Arsenal, really.
Could he have been helped out more by his teammates there, do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think you have to react better than what they did. You have to expect that the goalkeeper might not get there. You've got to read the flight of the ball. I mean, I'm sat up here, and when it comes in, I'm thinking that's quite a high ball. That's going to be so. That in anticipation, which is why I want to go back to Rob's comment, because I know he wants to come for everything, Rob, but you're playing against Arsenal and they do that. Do you not think do you have to adapt? You sometimes adapt it and think, well, tonight I can't quite be as bolshy as what I want to be, and I'm going to have to be a bit more measured sometimes.
You know what they've done recently is cleared, especially for long throws, and it's not the same, I know, but they've cleared the area. They cleared the area of Chelsea players and said, you just go, you just do your thing, and it allows him to do that. They've not done that, whether they've just gone back to type and gone man for man in there, and it's just that little bit of lack of awareness of his surroundings that's really is caught short on.
I mean, I don't think any Chelsea player then really looked to head the ball. It was just a little momentary second of switch off, like, oh, what's going to happen? And it landed on Ben White's head. He didn't do anything. He didn't move into it. He barely had to head it. He just nodded it down, and it's in the back of the net.
It was an attacker marking. It was João Pedro marking. It was like he'd never done it before in his life.
No.
I do wonder whether, because the immediate temptation, Rob, is to say, of all the things that Liam Rosenior will have worked on, Arsenal set pieces will have been number one. But equally, they're not just doing the same thing every time. And presumably, therefore, it's not just like you can watch all of their set pieces and think, oh, well, we'll defend these better. Otherwise, they wouldn't be scoring from so many.
No, and there's 2 distinct different ones, isn't there? There's one at the near post and the one at the far post. And as a keeper, you're desperately keen to get to the one at the near post first. You're always thinking, what's in front of me, what's in front of me? Because that's the shortest time. You're desperate to go for, and it takes so much discipline just to stand still and allow yourself that time to go back. And that's where Sanchez gets squared up, and it's so hard because you're waiting for that flurry of players to go past you, and if it doesn't happen, you're thinking, where is everyone? Because you're watching the ball, you can't see where it is. So it's really, really hard. If anyone had found an answer, you'd have thought they'd have done it by now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly, John, what I was thinking, because it's really easy, isn't it, just to say, did they not know this was a strength? Of course they know it's a massive strength, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can repel it.
Well, they're the best around, aren't they? Arsenal, they are the best around. That is statistically known. And as we said during the commentary, with Rice and Saka, they've got 2 of the most dangerous deliverers of a corner as well.
I think you have to lock in, though, Steve, like man for man. Too many teams I see have set up in more of a static zonal system. And I just find when Gabriel and Saliba are on the move, and when Havertz will start to play, how aggressive and how well he attacks the ball. If you're not locked in and got your shoulder into him, because you don't always have to win the ball at that point, you just stop them from heading it. And I just think too many teams I see that are in space, that are marking space, that aren't ready to really go and head it, and Arsenal dominate. And I think you have to sometimes look at it and think, I've got to lock in and physically get up against whoever my responsibility is.
Yeah, watching the replays, as you've been saying, it looks just as bad for João Pedro as it does actually for Sanchez. So, half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1 in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final. In the Scottish Premiership, let's check in on the live football. We will start with the game between Hearts and St Mirren. Kenny Crawford.
Started, Steve, and I was just thinking back to before the game when I was praising Benny Beningame and Cammy Devlin for their bite and steeliness in midfield. It was probably always going to be the case from that point on that one of them would get sent off, when Benny Beningame did after 15 minutes, leaving Hearts with a really big mountain to climb. They get 10 men on Sunday in their 1-0 win against Dundee, but they already had the goal before they were down to 10 men. This time it's 0-0 with 10 men, with for 65, 70 minutes of the game they've got to play, and it's looking like they're up against it, because St Mirren have had the ball in the back of the net twice in that first half, both ruled out for offside, and they're now trying, Hearts, to try and be galvanised and be spirited and try and hold out for at least 1 point here. It's Hearts 0, St Mirren 0.
So Celtic need to take advantage at Falkirk. So far so good for them. Martin Dowden.
Yes, Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, second half about 8 minutes old. It's Benjamin Negrin's header from a corner, the difference. That came just before half time. But what to do for Celtic? They were second best for good spells of that first half. Falkirk flex, missed some great chances. It's often been unspectacular under Martin O'Neill at Celtic this season. Again so, but results crucial right now, and they're on course for another big one. Celtic ahead by a slender single goal, a bit brighter early in this second half.
Still 0-0 in the game between Nigeria and Morocco at the Africa Cup of Nations. That is the second semi-final. Senegal beat Egypt in the first semi-final earlier on. We're going to talk about the Australian Open 1-point slam won by an unheralded amateur against some of the best in the world. It's a great story, so we'll have Russell Fuller with us shortly, and then it'll be time for second half commentary from Stamford Bridge, all after the news on 5 Live with Mark Summers.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Foreign Office has announced the British Embassy in the Iranian capital Tehran has closed temporarily. It follows reports the US and Britain are evacuating some of their personnel from the American airbase in Qatar. Donald Trump is considering whether to order military action against Iran after a crackdown on anti-government protests there. In the last few minutes, the US president has told the media he's been told the killing is stopping and there's no plan for executions in Iran. Meanwhile, the Danish foreign minister says fundamental disagreement remains with the US after talks at the White House over Greenland. Speaking to journalists, Lars Løkke Rasmussen said there's no instant threat to the territory from Russia, adding it is absolutely not necessary for the US to acquire it. President Trump says the US needs Greenland for national security. Here, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, says she no longer has confidence in the Chief Constable of West Midlands Police, Craig Guilford. It's after how he handled the decision to ban fans of an Israeli football team from a match last year. Reports found there was no engagement with the Jewish community in Birmingham before allowing only home supporters to attend a game between Aston Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv. Speaking in the Commons, Ms Mahmood described the overall findings as damning, but said she can't fire Craig Guilford.
Until 2011, the Home Secretary had the authority to dismiss a Chief Constable, a power that was removed by the last Conservative government. Today, it is only police and crime commissioners who hold this power, and so the Chief Constable's future rests with the local police and crime commissioner and not with me.
TGI Fridays has closed 16 of its UK restaurants, putting more than 450 employees out of work. The chain's remaining 33 restaurants will continue to operate after the business was sold in a rescue deal. And data shows last year was the third warmest on record. Weather experts say 2025 was the third year in a row where temperatures were more than 1.4 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels.
The wait is over. Welcome to a brand new series of Gladiators! 3, 2, 1.
If we hit you hard, it's a compliment.
I don't think my jaw is supposed to bend that way.
Brand new events that will test your pecs, your power and your pace.
When you come at this cat, you're going to get these claws.
You're a contender on my show. I'm the energy guy, and I'm thinking he's taking my place.
A brand new series of Gladiators. Starts Saturday on BBC iPlayer. This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1 at half-time in the League Cup semi-final first leg. Back to Stamford Bridge for second half commentary shortly. Scottish Premiership live scores into the second half. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1 and Hearts 0, St Mirren 0. 0-0 in the Africa Cup of Nations semi-final at half-time between Nigeria and Morocco. Masters snooker ongoing. Two-time champion Neil Robertson and Chris Wakelin battling it out for a place in the quarter-finals. Jamie Broughton.
And it's tied at 2 frames all at the mid-session interval. No player has been able to dominate so far. Neil Robertson was 2-1 up at one stage, with Chris Wakelin really struggling to settle down. But the rugby star finally got going in frame 4 when he knocked it a century break to level proceedings. So he'll be enjoying his cup of tea now during the interval. 6 is the target for victory, with the winner playing Kyron Wilson in the quarter-finals on Friday.
You can watch that over on BBC 2, iPlayer and the BBC Sport website and app. Now a story of an amazing amateur. The Australian Open gets underway on Sunday. Our team will have all the best action tennis breakfast every morning from 7 a.m. on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. Some small names and some really big names have already been in action at Melbourne Park today, though. In the 1 point slam, so likes of Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, Iga Swiatek were amongst the pros, facing amateurs and celebrities in a contest worth $1 million Australian dollars. Our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller was watching.
There were many storylines in the 3 hours of action on the Rod Laver Arena. In the first round, there were wins for an Australian breakfast TV presenter and a 3-time Melbourne Cup winning jockey. They fell in the second round, where some of the leading lights of the WTA Tour scored some notable victories over their peers from the men's ATP Tour, apart from Coco Gauff, that is, who put the one and only serve afforded to the professionals into the net. We lost both Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz in the third round. Sinner was beaten by one of the amateurs, the New South Wales state champion Jordan Smith, who went on to win the $1 million first prize, beating Joanna Garland of Taiwan, who's half British, a professional just outside the world's top 100 on the WTA Tour. It probably would have been life-changing money for her, but with the prize and the title on the line, she put a backhand wide, and Jordan Smith was celebrating winning the cheque with his partner and his parents on the Rod Laver Arena. A dream come true.
So do you think that other slams might look at this and think, yeah, we might follow suit?
It's a winning format, no doubt about that, and it will almost certainly be back. It's very entertaining. The outcome was very hard to predict. The amateur state champions were a big threat to the professionals, and the celebrity wildcards injected some extra fun as well. And why not? The Australian Open is long as it is, 15 days long, but with the Ashes over, this is Tennis Australia's month of opportunity, just as June and July are for the LTA as they seek to grow the sport in the UK. If you've got this glittering cast in your country, why not make the most of them, try and bring in a new audience, some of whom might pick up a racket or become armchair fans for life?
Australian Open underway on Sunday then. Quick word on Emma Raducanu, in good form?
Emma Raducanu will be seeded when the Australian Open draw takes place overnight, but she might not be in Melbourne for a while because she's into the quarterfinals in Hobart. She won her held-over first-round match against Camila Osorio in straight sets today, recovering from a double breakdown to win that second set, and would have been expecting to play 2 matches in a day, but had a stroke of luck when her second-round opponent, Magdalena Frech, pulled out of the tournament through injury. So, into the quarterfinals, and Raducanu will be thinking mostly about getting as much time on the match court as possible because her pre-season was affected by the foot injury which shut down last season a couple of weeks earlier than anticipated. But I'm sure also in the back of her mind, as someone who has not won a WTA title or any sort of title since she won the US Open, and as the top seed in Hobart, that this might just be an opportunity for her to return to the winner's circle.
That's our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller. Tournament proper starts on Sunday morning, 7 a.m, 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. There'll be a daily podcast at the end of each day's play. Back at Stamford Bridge. Rob Green, I thought we were going to miss the start of the second half because I just looked up at the screen and it looked like they were ready to go. Liam Rossigna sent the players out very early, presumably with something in their ear about creating more chances.
They did okay. They're playing out from the back and they're luring the press. And Matt said, Arsenal are going and they're going in numbers and they're getting those opportunities, particularly out wide. But you're looking at the extra option and you're looking at the conviction that Arsenal have with when Ben White goes or Jurrien Timber goes as bombing on. They've got Achiampong as the one who floats forwards, drifts forwards, and now he's a centre-half playing at right back and he's not really known for his attacking flair. So they've just got to keep plugging away and believing. I think, that lack of cutting edges the guys are talking about, if that ebbs into a lack of belief, then they start to have problems.
Rob will be back with us at full time through till 10:30 when Tony Livesey takes over. Half of football between now and then. John?
Yes, the Chelsea flags with the lion on them are being waved on the far side of Stamford Bridge in front of the West Stand. Referee blows his whistle. And Chelsea kick off, Arsenal leading by 1-0. Ben White's early goal heading in from the Declan Rice corner. No changes at half-time. Chelsea with Sanchez in goal. Achiampong, Chalobah, Fofana and Cucurella are the back four. Then Fernandes, the captain, and Andres Santos. Estevao, João Pedro and Pedro Neto, with young Mark Guiu up front with Delap unwell and not involved at all tonight. Liam Delap. Arsenal on the back foot as Chelsea bring it forward with João Pedro running from deep, and then turns against Gabriel, claims went down claiming he'd been tugged in the back. Referee Hooper was right there and I presume said there wasn't enough in that, and I think Gabriel was very canny and cute there and stepped off him before the time João Pedro went down. Chelsea back in their own half. And the Arsenal team, Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, Raya on the substitutes bench. Kepa Arrizabalaga has started all of the matches in the Carabao Cup this season. Back four tonight, the goal scorer White, Saliba fit, Gabriel and Timber at left back, Zubamendi with Odegaard and Rice in midfield, Saka and Trossard wide, and Gyökeres through the middle, who has not had a chance yet, Gyökeres. No. But generally, Matt Upson, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Chelsea were out very early, John. What does that normally mean? Normally means a hairdryer, doesn't it? Half time and get out and wait in the cold for the opposition and have a think about your performance. I don't think it was that, but it was interesting that Liam Rosenior's first half-time talk here was probably very brief and to the point, and wanting the players to get out, send a message, let's get out, let's get on the pitch first. I think that will be very much his theme as a head coach here. And Greeny touched on it at half-time there. It's got to have that intensity and purpose. Mikel Arteta has built that at Arsenal over quite a few seasons now, and it just feels like Chelsea need a little bit of that themselves.
Achampong, important challenge on the halfway line just to snuff out an Arsenal attack. Then it's played forward for Pedro Neto, and goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga came out, but actually Gabriel came across and just took charge of that. Even though the goalkeeper, I think, would have got there, Gabriel didn't take any chances. Right foot whacked it away from the gloves of his own goalkeeper, with Neto not far away.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kepa would have got there, but it's top defending. It can always cause confusion and that. And from Gabriel's perspective, if you can deal with it, just deal with it. You can always have an argument about it with your goalkeeper after.
Yep, decisive, wasn't it, from
really
Gabriel?
was.
Chelsea with it on the left-hand side, and I think the feeling will be in the home sections that Chelsea really probably need to have a win to take to the Emirates. If it has to be a draw, then fair enough, but they do not want this to get any worse. Cucurella loses a throw-in on the halfway line. Saka takes it on. Cucurella, who is on a yellow card, struggling to get back with Saka, and then White arrives. White's ball across Sanchez with a touch. It's there. It's 2-0. Gyökeres forces it in, almost on the goal line, under pressure from Fofana. Gyökeres with a goal. Arsenal celebrate. They've got a 2-0 lead in the semi-final, and this is not how things were supposed to start for Liam Rosenior. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 2.
Chelsea caught cold, really out of position from the throw-in. It's Cucurella who's trying to recover, but Arsenal take it quickly and they throw it over Cucurella's head, and Saka's the wrong side. From that moment, this always spells trouble for Chelsea. He recovers relatively okay, Cucurella, but once he's off balance, Saka waits. It's such good play from Saka. He waits for the overlap, which comes around him. Cross comes into the box, and dare I say that Robert Sanchez has a little bit of a mishap here for me. He's in a decent position. The ball is fired across that 6-yard box line, and his reaction after tells me he feels he should have done better. And I think he gets a good hand on this. It's low and across the floor, but as the cross comes in, there's not much pace on it, and he makes a bit of a hash of it. It slips under his right arm, takes all the pace off the ball, and it's just sitting there 1 yard out. Gyökeres is not going to get an easier finish than that, and it's a goalkeeping error from Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, missed the corner for the first goal, and couldn't deal with the Ben White cross, so he's got an assist and a goal. Yeah. Ben White, but going down, diving out in the 6-yard box, got his hands to it, and it just squirmed under the gloves, didn't it? And that took all the pace off it in front of Gyökeres, who had Fofana with him, but he just had to make contact, and he did, to force it over the line.
I think Greeny's given him the kiss of death, isn't he?
Yes, before the match. As Arsenal now leading by 2-0. Cross from Achampong across the 6-yard box, but that bounces harmlessly out for a goal kick. So the scoreline that Liam Rossigna and all of these Chelsea fans at half-time were dreading. A quick second Arsenal goal, that's what they've got. And it's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 2. Let's go back to the Premiership in Scotland. Back to Tynecastle. Kenny Crawford.
61 minutes gone. The Hearts team with 10 men has a 1-goal advantage over St Mirren. It's the captain, Lawrence Shankland, his 14th goal of the season. Brilliant work down the right-hand side by Blair Spittle. Cut it back to the Scotland striker, Shankland, and he just diverted it low into the bottom left-hand corner. They're up against it, but they're dealing with it. Hearts 1, St Mirren 0.
Yeah, that's a big night, isn't it, for Hearts? You're in Scotland. You'll find BBC Radio Scotland for the commentary on your BBC Sounds app. Chelsea here in the capital have forced a corner. They need a response. Chelsea with the corner from the left-hand side. In it comes. And Kepa Arrizabalaga comes for it, gets a punch to it, but he was being fouled at the time as the challenge came in on him. I think Fofana. And the referee has given the free kick Arsenal's way. Kepa is down on the ground. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, just bodies. It was a decent ball in, right foot in, swinger into the near post area. Kepa comes and deals with it quite well, and Fofana's just in there, clatters into him. Referee feels there's enough there for a foul. I should probably have to agree with him. It's hard to tell, so many bodies in there.
Well, Liam Rossigna 2-0 down in the first leg of the semi-final, clearly feels he's got to do something, Matt, and he's going to make a double substitution now. Garnacho coming on, Guiu is being withdrawn, and Badiashile is going to come on as well to take over from Josh Acheampong. So Garnacho coming on, change is made, Guiu's off. Is it too late though?
Well, I mean, Guiu hasn't really featured in this game much at all, and it's no surprise to me that he's made that change. I thought he may have made that change at half-time, but he's waited to see how the second half has started, and it's just interesting to see then who drifts into the middle, and I think it's actually Neto who's come more central. Esteval has stayed over on the right-hand side, Garnacho straight over to the far left. I thought it may have been Esteval actually, but would have gone number 10.
That would have been my feeling as well, but no, it's going to be Neto playing in that central position, with João Pedro now further forward, and Badiashile incidentally is playing as the left-sided central defender. So Fofana has come across to right back, or at least that's how it looked. Free kick is taken centrally. Trossard with a cross, only half away by Chalobah, comes out still inside the penalty area to Saka, who's forced out of the box, gives it to Ben White. Now back to Saka again against João Pedro. Two Chelsea players there. It's allowed to run. Odegaard with a shot. Sanchez goes down and makes the save. To his left, pushing it away, close-ish to him, but well struck, and it's out for a throw.
Yeah, they've got to be careful here, Chelsea. You've got to steady the ship. Arsenal can smell blood. And a 2-0 lead is a healthy lead, but 3 would be a major problem going into a second leg.
Well, almost insurmountable, you'd think.
Yeah.
As Saka kicks out at Cucurella, who goes down. But actually, referee says there was no foul in there. Deflected behind by Cucurella. I thought he caught Cucurella there. And that's the point I think that Cucurella is making as well, as he walks back into the penalty area, running his gloved hand through all of that hair. But it is a corner to Arsenal. Saka to take this. Arsenal supporters are there, buoyant. Arsenal got such a good recent record here as well. Chelsea have not won in their last 8 matches against Arsenal. And it's a corner from the right-hand side. Saka to take this, so the alarm bells are ringing.
Look at what's going on in the box there. I mean, I feel for Robert Sanchez, I do. It's like, it must be awful. It's like you've been dropped into like a tank of piranhas, John, and they're just circling round you and nudging you all the time.
Big piranhas.
Yeah, these lot. Nipping away at him. He doesn't know which way to turn. There's all sorts of movement all around him. So difficult.
Saka plays it into the middle of the 6-yard box. Sanchez on the goal line, punched it away, headed back in, only half away, still inside the penalty area. Gyökeres trying to work something, and he turns it straight into Andre Santos, deflected behind. Huge Arsenal cheer for another corner.
Yeah,
I think it's more like a shark tank.
It is just they're circling for Sanchez. He actually does really well on that corner, I must say. There's bodies all around him, and it's just enough. There's not a foul, it's just enough, and they've cleared the area now, Arsenal, so they've come completely away from that 6-yard box, left him spare, almost in his own little position, no one near him, and then they go to the back post, and now they'll all start to drift in and try and cause a bit of chaos.
Yeah, they survived one from Saka. Here's the Rice corner. This is a very deep one to the back post, which is headed up in the air, and then it bounces down and bounces out of play. And they've survived that one as well. It hasn't got any worse. Gyökeres getting his head to it, and it's behind for a goal kick to Chelsea, who are 2-0 down here in the Africa Cup of Nations semi-final. Let's get the latest live from Rabat. Lee James is there.
You've got the shark tank, John. We've got the pack of Atlas Lions, as Morocco are known, and they are prowling, hoping to get the opening goal. Ez Al-Zouli of Real Betis had his shot saved. Nigeria getting frustrated, though. No foul on Lookman was given in the build-up. We played 57 minutes here. It's still Nigeria 0, Morocco 0.
Lifeline for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Cross from the right-hand side. Arsenal didn't deal with it, and the substitute Garnacho on his left foot drives it low through a crowded 6-yard box into the back of the Arsenal net. Garnacho scores. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 2 now.
That's a really good finish from Garnacho. Keeps his composure at the back post. Chelsea have it wide on the right. It gets crossed in. Arsenal don't deal with it. It skims to the back post, and it kind of comes off the turf onto Garnacho. He's got plenty of time, but he doesn't panic. It's easy just to lash away at this, and he just concentrates on the contact, skips it into the turf on target, and it's in the back of the net. What a response. Arsenal looking really threatening, and Chelsea have just hit back out of nowhere, really.
Unusually, there was a missed tackle for Arsenal, centre field, and it found its way to Neto on the right-hand side, and it was Neto's crossover. Everyone in the central area, Garnacho was able to control it and shoot low from the angle into the back of the net. So the substitute has scored Chelsea's first goal for Liam Rossigna here at Stamford Bridge.
It's a good composed finish, and it goes underneath Kepa, but he strikes it quite unusual, the strike actually. He doesn't hit it into the ground, it's almost as it's on the ground.
At the other end, meanwhile, another corner to Arsenal. In it comes. Gabriel couldn't get a head on it, or he got a head on it, but it was deflected out to the edge of the penalty area, and Odegaard there with a shot that was well wide. And suddenly there's proper hope here for Chelsea. They survived the corners at one end, Chelsea, when it, the fear was that this could get out of hand for them. Survived those corners, and then have gone down the other end, and with their first chance of the second half, have got the goal back, Matt.
Cup tie back on, very much so. Stamford Bridge got something to shout about. Robert Sanchez just clears that, taking his time with the ball, ends up with his left foot just playing it forwards and long, which was a good decision.
Chelsea now try to break away again with Andre Santos. Arsenal put the challenge in, bounces forward. Estevao now, down the right-hand side. Chelsea fans on their feet. Estevao with a low cross, looking for Garnacho. But Saliba was able to come across and get there first and clear it away for Arsenal. Chelsea come again, attacking towards the Matthew Harding stand. Pass forward by Santos. João Pedro. But Arsenal have got bodies back, comes back centrally to Enzo Fernandez. And Andre Santos, here is Garnacho with the bleached blonde hair, taking on White, crosses it, took a deflection, but into the path of Saliba, who is able to control and actually just lifts it out, right-footed for a throw to Chelsea on the far side, their left, taken to Badiashile on the halfway line, then across to Chalobah. As I say, Fofana now playing as the right-sided of the defensive back line for Chelsea. Pedro Neto centrally is able to clip it out. Space over there for Garnacho, but it bounced up. He's taken a little while to get it down, which he has now, into the penalty area. then back to Cucurella. Cucurella lifts one in, headed away though by Gabriel for Arsenal, and then cleared away towards the halfway line. Suddenly there's new life, new spirit for Chelsea.
Yeah, there is. I think Garnacho has brought a little bit of that, to be honest. Almost like he's got a little bit of something to prove here, and he's really up for it now.
Estevao, couple of step overs, then comes in, left-footed curler, comes off the head of the Arsenal defender. Gabriel stretched for it, might have been heading in that, but off the head of Gabriel and behind for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, Gabriel couldn't be sure. I think it might have just been edging wide, but he was on the line of the ball and thought, I can get a little head on this and just knock it wide. Gets a good touch on the ball, but it's now corner Chelsea.
Corner Chelsea. Atmosphere now. Proper atmosphere inside the ground. The Arsenal fans were singing "Sacked in the Morning" when they were 2-0 up. Corner then taken into the near post. That's headed away by Gabriel. No one there in a blue Chelsea shirt. Back out to Neto. His ball in. It's headed well and away. Declan Rice with barrier shield. The Arsenal man wins the header. Then Garnacho back towards the corner of the box, shouts for handball. Initial touch was off Saka. Then it struck as well the arm of Garnacho, and referee Hooper has given it the free kick the Arsenal way.
Yeah.
It's Timber actually, wasn't it? Timber and Garnacho together.
Yeah, I don't think he thought the first one was a handball, and then the second one, Garnacho was intentional, puts his hand down, he strikes it and gives it, much to the distaste of the Chelsea crowd who thought the first one should have been given.
Arsenal bringing the ball forward from the back towards the halfway line, passing it to Timber, and then Timber forward to Gyökeres. He's already got on the score sheet tonight with his 8th goal for Arsenal. Trossard inside the area, angling it back towards the edge of the box. Timber tried to play it forward, but Chelsea defended that well. Garnacho then challenged and fouled as he jumped for it halfway inside his own half. So it's a free kick to Chelsea. Less than half an hour of this first leg to go. 5 Live Sport from the BBC. You'll hear all of the reaction, possibly before 10:30 tonight, but if not, then search Football Daily on the BBC Sounds app and you will get it all there. And of course you can read about it on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Alex Howell and Nizar Kansella will be writing on this match this evening. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 2, if you've just switched on. Throw in for Chelsea. Cucurella to take it. Midway point of their own half. Hooked forward by the Chelsea goal scorer, Garnacho. Then Andre Santos just dinks a ball into the space here on the right-hand side. Fofana. Neto is there as well. He's running from deep. He's got Estevao down the right wing, but Neto still keeping possession of the ball, plays it up to João Pedro. It rattles around and then is cleared away downfield by Gabriel. Comes back to Chelsea inside their own half, so they can start again with Enzo Fernandez, who puts his foot on the ball. Chelsea tonight for this first home match for Liam Rosenior here without, as I mentioned, Delap, who's unwell, but no James, no Palmer, no Gusto, no Caicedo as well, missing a £100 million plus man in the midfield. His 3rd suspension of the season, Caicedo, as Arsenal with Odegaard forward towards Timber, but Fofana stepped in well.
That was great from Fofana, wasn't it? Much needed as well. Arsenal looking like they were building something promising, but he reads it from the right back position, comes across and gets a really good right foot on the ball and just spins it away. Good defending that.
Matt Upson, former Arsenal defender. It's actually featured in the programme tonight, isn't it? You were once on the wrong end of a 5-0 home defeat to Chelsea in the League Cup, in the Arsene Wenger "I will play the youngsters in this competition" era.
Yeah, I had forgotten. It was 1998, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Chelsea didn't play youngsters, did they? Poyet was on the score sheet.
I think I was playing against Vialli, which was a real lesson.
It was an education.
It was.
Saliba playing the ball forward for Saka, who is fouled. Challenge comes in on him. He's down again, holding his left leg. And it's a free kick for Arsenal, just right of centre. Good position, actually. Be 25 yards out.
It's tailor-made for a left foot, and it's just nicely off to the right-hand side. Plenty of, a good distance to get up and down over the wall. But Bukayo Saka is not back up on his feet yet, or just about back up on his feet.
Wasn't a great challenge from Badia
No, it
Shield,
wasn't.
was it? And he has yellow carded him, yeah.
He got the yellow card.
And I think rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bad one.
Yeah.
I mean, Saka always does seem to be on the brunt of these tackles. I mean, I think he catches him more in mid-air with a higher stud as he's trying to win the ball through the back of his legs. And he does catch Saka with the stud.
Yeah. Bad challenge from Badia Shield. The yellow cards, by the way, in the League Cup were wiped before the semi-finals. So everyone back down to 0 in this competition. That's why Caicedo is suspended tonight. 2 yellow cards in this competition. Martinelli's going to come on, the hat-trick man from Fratton Park. And I think that's Marino as well down there as well, isn't it? Who, remember, scored here. Scored in his last 2 matches against Chelsea, but scored here in the 1-1 draw in the Premier League in November. But a free kick that Arsenal know they've got an opportunity here. Odegaard and Rice are over the ball. Timber's just left the wall to come and have a chat. And Odegaard says, yep, it's an instruction. And Gyökeres and Timber standing in front of the Chelsea wall. So Odegaard, or is it Rice? Rice curls it, but round the wall, the right footer going for the top right corner from the free kick on the right. That needed to be absolutely pinpoint. It wasn't. Missed by 4 or 5 yards.
It needed to be the Champions League free kick from last season. I can't remember who that was. That Real Madrid?
Real Madrid.
It was Real Madrid, wasn't it?
Rice, baby.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't remember which game. I remember the free kick really well. I mean, it was phenomenal, wasn't it? It was that kind of range, wasn't it? Nearly identical kind of position on the pitch, but doesn't get up and down over the wall and on target.
Yep. Yes. Mr. Ian Dennis with my favourite football commentary of 2025.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. Double change, Odegaard and Trossard, who, remember, was a doubt for this match. He's been excellent though, Trossard. And they've come off, and Marino and Martinelli are on. Let's go back to Hearts. Kenny Crawford.
78 minutes gone, still Hearts 1, St Mirren 0. Derek McInnes' 10 men are trying to hold on with absolutely everything they've got. He's brought on a couple of defenders, Jamie McCart and Frankie Kent, to shore up that back line as St Mirren do the opposite and bring on strikers to try and get the goal. They need to get back into this game. It's been some repelling performance by Hearts so far. Can they hold on another 15 or so minutes? Hearts 1, St Mirren 0.
Yeah, it would take them 6 points clear again at the top of the table. Fofana's been fouled on the halfway line. Still Chelsea 1, Arsenal 2. What about Celtic? Still narrow lead for them, Martin Dowden?
Yeah, they still hold that vital 1-goal lead thanks to Benjamin Negron's header just before half-time. Really struggling though to earn the cushion of a second. Ethan Williams just had a great chance for Falkirk, but Schmeichel denied him. They lead, but far from comfortably. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
And straight back to Edinburgh, Kenny Crawford.
They're not just holding on, John, they're doing it in style now, Hearts. Hearts 2, St Mirren 0. A counter-attack. Harry Milne's shot was saved by Shamal George. It bobbled up for Thomas Magnuson to head into the net from about 8 yards out, the Icelandic midfielder who's just been brought on as a sub. This was supposed to be a hard mission for Hearts. Down to 10 men after 15 minutes, but they now lead St Mirren by 2-0.
Thank you very much. So Arsenal in possession inside their own half. The rain, it's a lovely afternoon when I arrived in London, but then the weather changed and the rain came in. It seems dry at the moment here in West London. Ball out to the right hand side, stab forward, Enzo Fernandez can't keep it in, and it's a throw in to Arsenal just inside their own half, just into the last quarter of the match. This first leg, second leg at the Emirates in 3 weeks' time. Both of those second legs, 5 Live, the place to hear them. And we will have commentary again from the Champions League next Tuesday and Wednesday next midweek. Throw in for Arsenal, back towards the edge of the penalty area. Arsenal, of course, top of the league phase of the Champions League. They've got Inter away next week, so Mikel Arteta will have to be careful on the touchline.
Yeah.
Ball bounces all the way through for a goal kick for Chelsea. And actually the 2 Premier League matches for Arsenal and Chelsea this weekend, you'll be able to hear them with us as well. Chelsea-Brentford, Sports Extra, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. Tottenham-West Ham is the 3 o'clock commentary on 5 Live. What a match that is. Ball flicked on, but João Pedro in an offside position. And free kick to Arsenal halfway inside their own half. And Arsenal next in the league go to Forest on Saturday, 5:30 kick-off. That's also on 5 Live. Right, free kick to Arsenal. Finely balanced now after the Garnacho goal, pegging Arsenal back. But Mikel Arteta's made his double change, and here is our Merino, one of the substitutes, getting it back from Saka. Merino's ball into Gyökeres. Gyökeres flicks it back. Could open up here. It is opening up for Zubamendi. Left foot to finish. Planted it from 12 yards. And it's back to a 2-goal Arsenal lead. They carved their way through the Chelsea defence. Zubamendi, and it's Chelsea 1, Arsenal 3 now.
Well, what a well-worked goal. And what a really measured, controlled finish from Zubamendi is top class. Too much space for Arsenal. They work it too easily. Merino gets his head up, slips it into Gyökeres, has a touch. You think maybe he's a bit slow on the offload, but he just pops it to the side. Zubamendi arriving right on the edge of the 18-yard box from deep, has a touch onto his left foot, takes a little pause, which I think just throws Sanchez, steadies himself, and then bangs a left foot finish right into the corner. Really clean hit into that near post side, but really well hit, well struck shot. Gives Sanchez no chance really, and a really well worked goal from Arsenal. Top finish.
Yeah, it was exactly that. Very well worked, and Gyökeres played his part really nicely there, you know, with his back to goal as it was played into him. He knew that Zubamendi was the option, just laid it into his path, and on his left foot, as I say, 12 yards out, he, as they say, made no mistake.
No, he didn't. And they're the moments we were talking about Gyökeres in the first half, weren't we, about not getting involved in the game, not having enough of the ball in that area. Well, that's the prime place where he wants it, and he's shown that he can have the vision to have the touch, be that kind of bounce board that the Arsenal players need, and offload it to oncoming runners like Zubamendi. That was the perfect moment for him to show that, and he did it well, Gyökeres.
Yeah, against one of the better teams in the Premier League, Chelsea. Yep. He's been involved tonight, he's scored a goal, he's now set one up as well, and that after the criticism, the Liverpool match last week, the 0-0 draw, when he didn't have an attempt on goal, only 8 touches. Here's Pedro Neto, Chelsea, now under pressure again. Curls it across the penalty area. Cucurella volleys it back across the box, headed away by Rice, and now Arsenal. Barrier Shield just gets there first ahead of Mikel Merino, and Chelsea can start again on the halfway line. Well, the double change from Arsenal helped to bring the goal, and now Arsenal once again find themselves 2 goals in front. That will be a very healthy lead to take back to the Emirates. Chelsea need more from this, as Estevao wins it back against Timber. Might have been fouled, but Estevao kept his feet, scampering to the edge of the penalty area, shoots straight into the legs of Timber, bounces out to Neto here on the Chelsea right. Neto puts his foot on it in his two-tone yellow and white boots. Neto, the Portuguese, back to Fofana, infield. Enzo Fernandez drags it back. Chelsea, it's got to be better than this. They need a better scoreline than this to take to the Emirates.
It does, but I mean, we've been looking at the Cucurella Saka duel, but I have to say I'm loving this Timber Estevao. That's been as good, if not better.
Chelsea preparing to make another change, but Estevao with half a chance, but the shot was blocked inside the penalty area by the defender, by Timber, and then Merino goes down and wins a free kick on the edge of his own penalty area. And Chelsea are going to bring on Jarell Harto, who scored his first goal for the club over in East London, South East London, at the Valley in the FA Cup on Saturday night. So the Dutch international is going to come on. Well, I mean, he is a left back come central defender.
Yeah.
Where are they going to put him? Let's see whose number is going up. If Andrew Kitchen, the 4th official, can actually get the buttons pressed in, and there we are. And it is Fofana who is coming off. So Harto is going to go into central defence, the left-sided central defensive position, which he can play there. And now, having started off with Acheampong and then had Fofana for a spell at right back, now Chalobah's going to play at right back.
You come into back four and everyone just shuffles over one, and that's how they've done it. They've come all the way across, so now you have got Chalobah at right back, haven't you? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and Badia Shield with Hato on the left.
He's shifted over a position as well.
He has.
Badia Shield from left-sided central defender
to
the right
just
side.
come over.
Marino playing it through. Gyökeres in the edge of the area, very congested, trying to find a way through, and then Saka, and then the shot from Marino was deflected across the penalty area, the 6-yard box, and away and wide. That could easily have been a fourth.
That's a top save. Robert Sanchez, wow, he's come out and he's just thrown himself at this. Marino has all the time in the world. It's great play from Gyökeres again. I mean, he's really bullish the way he goes about this. He brings the ball down. There's a flick. The movement off it from Arsenal's brilliant. Chelsea recovering. There's a real fumble in the box. It drops to Marino, and Sanchez, it's a massive gamble, but he makes himself big, throws himself in the way and gets a great block, and the ball just spins out for a corner.
So it is another Arsenal corner. So all sorts of shenanigans going on in the 6-yard box. Headed down to the back post, and it bounced up and over the top of the crossbar. And it was headed down into the ground by Gabriel, but right down into the ground and up and over the top of the bar.
Yeah, and Sanchez ended up being in the back of his own net here. I mean, it was so teasing the ball from Rice. He went to the back post this time, lofted it high, all that activity around Sanchez again, doesn't let him settle, and the header bang into the floor. Gabriel frustrated because he gets the contact in that position and he just heads it too far down, so it bounces and then goes over the bar. But another big chance for Arsenal. Sanchez was already in the back of the net. He wouldn't have saved it had it been on target.
Well, he might have got his hands to it, but he'd have been in the back of the net. Martinelli now. Martinelli attacking and advancing with the ball. Gives it to Zubamendi, who lifts it across gently. It's teed back to Martinelli with a shot, but that hits. There were two Chelsea men in front of him. They blocked it away well between them, because that was hit with some force. And then free kick given Chelsea's way after Marino dived in on the challenge.
Yeah, it was bad tackle.
And it is a yellow card straight out for Marino.
He acknowledged it straight away, John. He just wrong side, came in. It was a horrible tackle, but
João Pedro.
Yeah, I think at the moment Chelsea doing well to keep this at 3. Arsenal throwing when they go forward, they've got so much movement and confidence off the ball. I think the subs have made a difference, John. They've really brought it to life. Marino's getting forward. Martinelli's got that energy. It's a different edge to Arsenal since they've come on.
Well, it's exactly what we said. And it's glaringly obvious, isn't it? You just have to look at the substitutes lineup for Arsenal. Garnacho dispossessed. Now the shot from Marino from 25 yards, that was blocked at source by Andres Santos. And so Chelsea are able to take possession again on the edge of their own box. Played across to Badia Shield, who will roll it back to Rob Sanchez, who's been a central figure tonight. Made that save from Marino, but it was Sanchez who went for the early corner, didn't get there. It was headed in by Ben White. And then for the second Arsenal goal, the cross from Ben White, he couldn't deal with it, got a hand to it, and it just ran into the path of Gyökeres, who made it 2-0. As the offside flag is up against Estevao, even though he couldn't control it anyway, just headed it straight behind. And actually with that, even though we're only in the 79th minute, some Chelsea fans in front of us here in the East Stand have decided that's it. Actually quite a few now. Probably several dozen are leaving, picking up their things and heading to the exits. Yeah. Cup semi-final.
Yeah, and it's only, it'll only be half time at the end of this game, won't it? It is quite an early departure, I must say.
It does feel like that.
Have you ever tried to get the tube here after the game?
Well, they're very well off in the capital, Matt. You people who live down here, public transport's excellent. Although I was hearing this morning that things are going to be improving in the north.
They are
soon.
I look forward to that.
Well, yes. I'm not sure I'm going to live long enough to see it, but we'll see. Full time at Falkirk. Martin Dowden.
Falkirk 0, Celtic 1, far from polished, but a crucial win in this title race against a really good Falkirk side. Top scorer Benjamin Negrin's header just before half-time means Celtic leapfrog Rangers into second. Falkirk 0, Celtic 1.
Yes, another win for Martin O'Neill. Hearts still 2-0 up on St Mirren. Liam Rossini is going to bring on another central defender. Tosin Adarabioyo is going to come on, as is Shim Moaka is going to come on as well, the 18-year-old forward, who I was slightly baffled because I haven't actually written his number down, 62.
Yeah.
And here he comes. So we're going to see a double Chelsea change. And who's coming off is João Pedro is going to come off for the youngster. This is quite a call, isn't it?
It is.
João Pedro coming off. So Guiu already substituted. João Pedro's off. And the relatively untried Shim Moeka is going to come onto the field. And Kukurea is off from left back. So Adarabioyo coming on. So I presume that's another reshuffle, with Harto going to left back.
No, I think Badiashil's gone to left back. I think Tosin has gone next to, at the moment, looking like he's next to Chalobah. Chalobah at right back, Tosin. Then we've got Harto. No, you're right. Badiashil is centre back, and Hato's over the far side.
Yeah. But for Shim Mecca coming on, former Brighton youngster, England under-19 international, just his second appearance of the season, played in a handful of matches last season when he made his debut. This is a big call, isn't it? But there again, of course, we don't know. João Pedro did take a bang, didn't he?
Yeah.
About 5 minutes ago.
It wasn't a good tackle from Marino. He caught him the wrong side. He acknowledged it straight away, picked up a yellow card, but it was a poor challenge.
So it may be that actually Liam Rossini has no option there. Oh, well, either him or Tyreek George, who's also on the bench. So it is Chelsea 1, Arsenal 3, and we're into the last 10 minutes now of this first leg, plus added time. 5 Live Sport on the air till 10:30 tonight, when we will be rounding it all up and also hearing again from the two matches in the Premiership in Scotland. Still Nigeria 0, Morocco 0, so that could well be heading to extra time.
When's the last time you did a game with 3 centre-backs came on off the bench?
That's a good question. Here's Esteban running away from Timber. They're shoulder to shoulder, actually down into the full-back position. Esteban still going, looks to get the cross in, but it was blocked behind by Timber, who slid into the way of it, and it's a corner to Chelsea.
You can't not love the way Esteban plays, can you? I mean, he is a fantastic footballer. Really direct, quick. He's got that energy. I think he's strong and powerful for his size. He's such a talent.
It is a corner which is played across. Garnacho with a shot, he scored! He's found a way through and scored his second goal of this semi-final. Arsenal didn't deal with it. They're not very happy about it. There are complaints. Kepa has gone all the way out of the penalty area to referee Hooper, who was telling him to go away, but they feel that he was impeded. But for the time being at least, Garnacho with a second goal, and it's Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3.
What an impact he has had. Brilliant from Garnacho. Liam Rossini high-fiving everyone on the touchline, but that is some impact from a substitute who's got something to prove at this club. He wants that starting jersey, he wants to play more.
VAR check though.
Yeah.
A possible foul,
I think
presumably on.
They have to, because of the appeals were there, weren't they? I mean, I didn't see too much of a foul. I think Kepa's come out. There's so many bodies in there.
Was he blocked?
I can't see how that. I think there's a follow. You know, the player that comes from deep and looks to jump into him a little bit. Just there. There's nothing in that for me. That'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah, it was Adarabioyo, Tosin Adarabioyo, who was jumping with Kepa, but I'm not sure they had a strong pace there.
Super finish.
They made a lot of it, but Garnacho had to play through a crowd of bodies.
Great finish. And you know, he's got it spot on because it's coming to him. He's got one shot at it. It's about waist height. He gets that shape on his left foot, and with the right foot bangs the ball down into the turf, and it skips off into the near post area. He had to really control it. He's had 2 very measured finishes, and he hasn't had a lot of touches, but what an impact he's had.
Yep, 6 goals now for the season. If you remember, he scored 2 goals in the quarter-final at Cardiff, which was a lively night. I was listening to Ali Bruce Ball with the commentary that night. Here's Fernandes, centre field, and Chelsea now think they might be able to get back on level terms in this. having twice been 2 goals down. Fernandez gives it to Estevao. Estevao with a shot. Oh, so close. Good save, Kepa, diving to his left. And oh no, the offside flag was up against Estevao, and it's not a corner.
Right.
And if he had found the net, it would not have counted. And it's a free kick to Arsenal. It remains Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. And Hearts have got their win. Kenny Crawford.
Full-time, Hearts 2, St Mirren 0 for the second time in the space of 4 days. Hearts have won a game of football despite being a man down for most of the match. Benny Beningame sent off in the 15th minute, but goals from Lawrence Shankland and Thomas Magnuson ensuring Hearts go 6 points clear. A remarkable victory. Hearts 2, St Mirren 0.
Arsenal coming forward again, leading by 3 goals to 2 now after those 2 Garnacho goals. Arsenal played into the penalty area, blocked on the edge of the box, comes back to Zubamendi rolls it here to the left hand side to Timber crossing with his left foot, and it lands over the top of the crossbar, just floated over the goal and landed behind for a goal kick. What about Nigeria, Morocco in Rabat? Lee James.
We're still waiting for the first goal here, John, and it is tense now. You can't underestimate the pressure that is on the host Morocco to win this tournament. Hakimi's shot hit the arm of Calvin Bassey, but it was down by his side, so no penalty given. Changes have been made. Will there be a late winner here? Less than 3 minutes to play. It's Nigeria 0, Morocco 0.
Arsenal on the attack down the right-hand side. Here's the cross, a deep one, which is headed away by Chalobah. Out to Estevao, passing it forward for Neto up against Gabriel. Chelsea fans get to their feet. Neto still going into the penalty area on the right hand side. The angle's tight, and as he looks to cross it, a sliding Gabriel deflects it behind the near post for a Chelsea corner. They scored from the last one from this side.
Well, Chelsea fans are enjoying the end to this game. They might be a goal down, but there's a buzz around the place. Neto, Estevao really got people off their seats at the moment.
This is all adding to the experience of Liam Rosenior's first match. Neto playing in it, Kepa pushing for it, and was pushed as he was challenging. There's an Arsenal defender down as well. Free kick was given their way, and Simon Hooper, as he walks to the Arsenal players who are down on the ground, is immediately pointing to the watch on his wrist, indicating to the Chelsea supporters that he's going to be adding this time on. But it is a free kick to Arsenal.
Good cup tie, really good cup tie. I mean, it's very much in the balance in this finish for Chelsea. There's a feel around this ground, like you said, John, that they're going to push on and get the equaliser. And if Arsenal are trying to delay the restart, it just tells you how this game has shifted to and fro a few times in this 90 minutes.
Good for Rosenior, this.
Yeah.
What's happened in the second half.
Definitely.
Making the changes, against a very good Arsenal team with all of the various Chelsea absentees, and I know Arsenal are missing players as well, but Arsenal with such a good recent record against Chelsea, not lost in their last 7 visits here. Arsenal against Chelsea, coming to Stamford Bridge. I remember very well being here. Do you remember Arsene Wenger's 1000th match when they lost 6-0 Arsenal, and the roof fell in on Arsene Wenger that day against Mourinho's Chelsea. Ball cleared downfield by Kepa, and then Martinelli does well actually against Estevao. Timber, Arsenal just having to find their composure here. It turned out to be a 5-goal thriller, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
And there was me thinking it was going to be all testy and feisty after the league match.
It's been a good game
It's been
throughout,
really
isn't
good.
it? Really good.
Yeah. And Arsenal in possession, bringing it forward with the ball on the right-hand side. Kai Havertz is on the field.
Yes,
when did they smuggle him on?
They slipped him on when that was all going on down the bottom there with
the VAR shout.
Yeah, that's right. And you could tell because every time he touches it, there's a boo.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What, the man who scored the winning goal in the Champions League final for Chelsea?
I saw him running around and I heard the boos and I thought, that's Havertz.
Yeah, famously scored that goal. Mason Mount setting him up.
Yeah,
in Porto.
Gyökeres has gone off, hasn't he?
No, it's Declan Rice.
It is Rice, that's just Gyökeres.
Yeah. Surprising.
Crikey, are we watching the game?
Surprising that Rice has gone off.
Well, possibly. I mean, it might have just felt like there was an issue, or what have you, but it's been some end to this game, which, look, in fairness to Chelsea, you have to give them the credit. It looked dead and buried when that third went in from Zubamendi. You thought, crikey, they're pushing for another Arsenal. Chelsea are in big trouble, but they've come back again. They've not let the heads go down.
Saka's been fouled again, this time by Santos. So Arsenal have got a free kick and a good position against Zubamendi, who's going to take this. This will be 25 yards, maybe slightly more, given the angle. So Havertz is on for only his second appearance since coming back from that long layoff. Zubamendi plays it out to Saka on the right-hand side. Chelsea have got everyone back in their own box. Comes back to White. White lifts it in over the top of Gabriel Jesus, who is also on the field for Arsenal. So Gyökeres must be off then. Yeah. So Jesus is on as well. So they made a double change when the VAR discussions were going on. So Jesus also. And Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3, the score. Ball played forward for Estevao, and he runs across Gabriel, who's running across Estevao at the same time. There was contact, down went Estevao. Referee wasn't interested. The ball was already in the hands of the goalkeeper.
Was it in the vicinity, but Gabriel does like to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah, here's Saka at the other end. Saka now approaching the edge of the box, plays it through. Havertz on the turn. Oh, did well to get his foot to it. Wow, it's almost Bergkamp-like. He got a touch, swiveled, and then prodded it goalwards, but had no power.
I mean, super little flick from Saka to pop it through. I was expecting the flag to go up, John. I thought he was half a yard offside, but it never came. And had he made the right contact with that, could have been in the back of the net.
Poppet. Thank you, Poppet.
What's that?
He said he just a little poppet.
Popped it.
Sorry.
Popped it, sorry. Not poppet.
I know.
Popped it.
I know we've worked together a lot.
Popped it through.
Yeah. Here's Neto taking the ball on, trying to work it across, deflected away from Garnacho on the edge of the penalty area. What about all of those people who went out of the ground with 10 minutes to go?
I know.
They've missed.
Well, you did call it.
What drama. And they've missed all this. They might be listening.
Could be a full
yes.
fight back from Chelsea with still time.
Yeah. I know we've worked together a lot now over the years, but I don't think we've reached the stage where we call each other Poppets.
No, we're not there.
No. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. Chalobah moves away from Martinelli. Liam Rossigna going to get used to this now. He's quite active, isn't he, on the edge of this coaching area. There's a lot of animation from him, and rightly so. Arsenal led 2-0, then led 3-1. Chelsea have pegged them back. However, we're still looking at Arsenal taking a lead back to the Emirates in 3 weeks' time, where they've not lost at all this season in any competition. Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, left-footed away. White wins that against Garnacho, who's on a hat-trick. 5 minutes of added time. We've already had 3 minutes of that. Ball with Arsenal inside their own half. And they'll take this now, Arsenal, obviously. Any sort of lead in this position. Gabriel walking it forward. Now Martinelli receives it in the centre circle, drives forward, plays it through. Gabriel Jesus from the angle. Oh, the challenge comes in on him. I think it took his legs. Oh, the offside flag was up. Otherwise, I think it would have been a penalty.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it looked offside straight. I was waiting for the flag, but rightly delayed, I suppose. But it looked a clear offside. But you're right, John. It looked a certain penalty. Just took his legs from underneath him with a slide tackle.
Yeah. It was Harto running back in with a challenge, and Gabriel Jesus dragged it back.
Yeah, I mean, it's all being checked, obviously, with the VR, but it looked offside.
Yeah, well, I think the assistant's got the decision right, and now plays back underway. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3, and with a 1-goal deficit. You know, for all the fact that Arsenal are unbeaten there this season, remember, as Eddie Howe was pointing out last night, Arsenal lost 2-0 at home in the Carabao Cup semi-final last season, albeit in the first leg to Newcastle. Different Arsenal team now, though.
Yeah, agreed.
Badiashile, long and forward from him to Mecca, the young substitute, the teenager, who has done well. Garnacho takes it on from him. Garnacho, who's on a hat-trick now. 30 yards out, curls the ball across here to the right-hand side to Estevao. Estevao, left-footed cross, headed goalwards, but Kepa is able to clutch it to his right. The Chelsea player who was stretching for it, Neto, was actually diving away from goal, was able to deflect it goalwards, but it just looped into the hands of Kepa, didn't threaten him. And then Timber with a challenge. It was a 50-50 ball bouncing up. Andres Santos. It's a free kick to Chelsea. Yellow card for Timber now. So the yellow card count is really clocking up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 yellow cards.
There's a fair few that could miss the final then, if booked in the second leg,
potentially.
I'm right in saying that.
Yep. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. Well, I make it. We've had our 5 minutes of added time. This is the last chance for Chelsea to get it back level ahead of the second leg. They really need this. Liam Rosenior watching on his first match at Stamford Bridge. It's the head coach. In it goes to the edge of the area, headed away by Arsenal, and that will do for them. They've got the win. Mikel Arteta's side, as they try to win their way back to a cup final for the first time for 6 years. They've got the win that they wanted here in Liam Rosenior's first match as the Chelsea head coach here at Stamford Bridge. Spirit from his team in the second half after he made the changes. Garnacho, one of the substitutes, scoring 2 goals, and they did come back from 2-0 and 3-1 down, but Arsenal have won it 3-2. Matt Upson.
Yeah, you expected a bit of edge to this game beforehand, but it really did deliver in terms of excitement, energy. Both teams really competitive, wanting the result, going at it full steam, and it just produced a really good game of football. There were some mishaps, there was some really good play, but on the whole, 90 minutes that has kind of flashed by, which tells me it was a top game. Looking forward to the second leg, which I think is poised quite nicely, very much in Arsenal's favour, but Chelsea in with a chance.
So a little bit of...
I don't know where that's come from.
Everyone's gathering around the officials, and there's a bit of general milling around there. It's nothing.
No, it's
nothing too aggressive.
Now. I think there was something though, John.
Yeah, definitely something's been said in there, and just keeping an eye on that. Just seeing as well what Liam Rosenior's doing here, because he's right in the middle of it all, and he's gathering the players around out there, isn't he? The Chelsea players, and yeah, I think everything has settled down now. But we'll keep an eye on it just in case. And now the Arsenal players indeed are all peeling away and going over to there. Many thousands of supporters who are still in the stands here at Stamford Bridge after watching their team get another result here. Arsenal now unbeaten in their last 8 visits to Stamford Bridge in all competitions. Winners here tonight. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3.
OK, so we'll be reacting to this all the way through until 10:30 when Tony Livesey takes over. We'll also have more on the 2 victories in the Scottish Premiership for Celtic over Falkirk and 10-man Hearts over St Mirren. We'll keep you up to date at the Africa Cup of Nations as well. Nigeria, Morocco in the semi-final is into extra time. That's about to get underway. By the way, Albacete have just scored in the 97th minute to knock Real Madrid out of the Copa del Rey. Full-time whistle has just gone. Of course, that's Alvaro Arbeloa's first game in charge, having taken over from Xabi Alonso. You'll hear more about that for sure on the Euroleagues on 5 Live Sport tomorrow night. Our main focus is Stamford Bridge, though, Rob Green, and I think we won't have many problems getting through till 10:30. There's a lot to talk about.
What a strange game.
Yeah.
It was incredible, wasn't it? I mean, I've lost track of the notes I've been making. I've lost track of the substitutions that were made, the shape. I think Chelsea played with 8 different combinations of defenders there within the 90 minutes. It was just one that ebbed and flowed, and you thought Arsenal have got complete control on it, and then the Chelsea were back into it, and they just couldn't put Chelsea away. So you give Chelsea credit for that, but at the same time you're thinking they've got a mountain to climb.
We'll have time, Matt, to really zone in on some of the stories within the wider story, and we should be able to hear live, hopefully from at least one of the 2 managers as well between now and 10:30. But just on the face of it, Chelsea will be disappointed to lose a semi-final first leg at home. Of course they will be, but they showed a lot of spirit, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, because as Rob just mentioned, a couple of times in the game they looked a bit down and out, and I feared for them. Certainly at 3-1 I thought, this could go another step worse for them, but it didn't. And that's a mixture of, Arsenal not quite putting them away, but also their response was good. And they've got a couple of players in this team. In terms of Esteban Garnacho, when he came on, was excellent. I think he's got a real point to prove it, an edge about him as a player that might not be easy to manage at times, but he can have an impact, and they did. And they brought Chelsea back to life and have kept them more in this cup tie.
Thanks, Poppet.